Hi everyone, Melissa here. Today I am back with my Birthstone series for November. I'm going to be doing Topaz. I'm going to be doing a raw Topaz with this is kind of the inspiration, though I made the design technically before I found the inspiration this time. I just kind of had an idea and I went with it, hoping that it would work out, and it looks cool. So I'm excited for this one. I was a little concerned when it came to Topaz because it is a very yellow. It's not a really popular kind of color scheme, but I think it came out really cool, and I'm gonna like it. So for my regular nail color, for the normal nails, I'm gonna be using Pumpkin Cream Pie from Dipp'd. I'm also going to be using Take My Money from Dipp'd. I use this a lot. It is a semi-sheer nude color. But I'm also going to be using Sheer Buff, which is a newer one from her. This is a much more sheer nude color, so I'm going to be using a little bit of both to get this effect. And then I'm going to be using these diamond shard pieces I got from Etsy. They are from Gaudy Girl, but I'll have linked for those below. And some alcohol ink markers. I haven't used alcohol ink in a while, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the design here. Actually, I'm going to dip the solid nails, which are going to be these three. I'm gonna do 2 accent nails. So I want to do 2 different topaz nails for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this solid color dipped. Okay, so I've got Pumpkin Cream Pie down on these nails now. My first step for the topaz nails, I'm gonna do just 1 coat of Take My Money on the base of the nail, just as a first layer. Okay, and that's all I'm going to be using Take My Money for. The only reason I use Take My Money instead of Sheer Buff for this first layer is because I wanted something with just a little bit more opacity. I didn't want a super sheer base because I want the detail I'm going to be putting on top to show up a little bit better. So the next step will be the diamond shard glitter. So I'm just going to pour it out into this cupcake liner and tap it down and kind of press a little to get those glitters laying flat. And I'm going to do a layer of those glitters on each of these nails. So I'm just going to lay the nail straight in to it, roll it around, and then we're going to press it down to get those nice and flat, or as flat as they can be. We're going to give this just a minute to dry, and then any hangover that's coming off of the nail onto the cuticle area we'll clip off with some nippers just to clean that up. Alright, now we just have this big old chunky ice shard, diamond shard mess, but that's okay, that's what we want, because our next step is going to be to use these alcohol inks. I'm going to be just pressing in and drawing the alcohol ink onto the top of these shardy nails, and just trying to get it into the little cracks and crevices. I want it to stay down in there and under there. I'm going to start with this color. This first color I'll be using is a terracotta. It's like a brown orange color. Comes off much more kind of a apricot orange color once it's put on the nail. Alright, so far that's pretty rough looking, but that's okay. We're going to be using some alcohol now. I'm going to be using some isopropyl alcohol and a flat brush here. Just getting the brush really nice and wet, and we're going to place that down. This is going to make the alcohol ink kind of spread and make sure it gets into those cracks. It thins that out and gets it down in there. Then I'm going to get a little bit more on the brush and just use that to wipe away at the top. I'm just kind of wiping off excess, leaving the alcohol ink mostly just underneath, between, down inside of the little diamond shards. Do the same thing here. Okay, now I'm gonna kind of do the same process with this other color. It's burnt sienna. It's like more of a brown. Okay, now that that is done, get on with the next color. So now I'm going to be doing a nice thick layer of sheer buff over the top of this. So I'm going to be putting the dip base on pretty heavy for this, because I have to make sure that I get into all these little cracks and between all the little glitters. I need to get this in there. Kind of gonna glop it on, press it down into each little area. Okay, I'll do that over here too. Okay, now I'm going to do a couple dips of clear just to make sure that I really fill in any last gaps. There will be quite a bit of filing that has to be done on these nails, but I would rather overfill and file down just to make sure everything gets filled in really nicely and we end up with a nice even nail. Okay, now I'm just going to activate everything and go ahead and file them. I'm also going to use some alcohol to get the alcohol ink off of my skin around the cuticle area. Okay, all done filing. Now I'm just going to wipe these down with alcohol so we can really take a look at the effect we got with this technique. It gives a really cool, like, raw stone, just a really cool texture on there, and I love that. I think it turned out great. I am going to add just a little bit more detail to this though with the alcohol inks. Not a lot, because I don't want to cover up the texture that we achieved with the layers we did, but I'm just going to use the same two colors. I'm going to draw just little lines on each nail. Nothing crazy, just a few marble lines. And I'm going to go over the lighter color with the dark color too. Then I'm just going to use like my little detail brush here and some alcohol and go right up against the edge of the line, and it'll kind of bloom it out, sharpen it, make it more thin like hairline. Okay, now I'm going to let that dry completely, and then I'm going to do a layer of gel base over this. I will not be putting dip liquids over this because it will cause the alcohol ink lines to kind of smear and they'll lose their detail. So I'll be finishing these two accent nails with gel base and top coat. Okay, I actually decided I'm gonna add a little bit of gold flakes to these nails here, just kind of like frame accent nails. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit. This is Golden Ticket from Double Dipped. It's like a bronzy gold flake dip. I'm gonna be using some gel base just because it gives me plenty of time to place. Alright, and now I got those flakes where I wanted them and I cured them. I'm gonna go ahead and gel top everything and then they're done.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit.
Alright, and there we are with the Topaz nails. This technique ended up being really absolutely perfect for getting that kind of raw, uncut stone look. I mean, it really turned out pretty cool. So I'm very happy about that, and I'll probably be using it in the future for other stones because it looks great. Let me know what you think about my Topaz nails. I've only got 1 month left of this series. I'm very sad about it. I've had a lot of fun recreating these birthstones, so be sad to see it go, but let me know if you can think of any other type of similar series I can do for the next year. As always, thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.